Today I'm going to show you how to check out an ebook and read it on your Kindle. There are two ways to do this. The first is to go through a web browser, such as Chrome, Firefox, or Internet Explorer, which you can do on your computer, tablet, or phone. The second is to borrow the book and send it to your Kindle via the Libby app. So let's begin with the first method. First, open a web browser. Next, either type in dlil.overdrive.com into the URL address bar, or you can go to a search engine such as DuckDuckGo or Google and type in Digital Library of Illinois. Well, I spelled Illinois incorrectly, and in either case, you will get to the Digital Library of Illinois homepage. To avoid any confusion, I should make clear that the Digital Library of Illinois is just a collection of ebooks and audiobooks to which Evanston Library card holders have access. Overdrive is the company that manages this collection, and Libby is Overdrive's phone and tablet app for reading and listening to books. You may have heard of Hoopla. That is a different app that Evanston Library card holders can use to read and listen to books from a different collection, but the Digital Library of Illinois collection and Libby are completely separate from Hoopla. We're not dealing with Hoopla in this tutorial. So turning back to the Digital Library of Illinois webpage, go over to the gray sign-in button and click that. From the drop-down list over here, select your library. If Evanston Public Library isn't already selected, you need to select it. And then below you'll see a place to put in your library card number. Put in your library card number. And after you've done that, just click on Sign In. Now, the first thing to know is that not all ebooks in the Digital Library of Illinois are available in the Kindle format. There are two ways to find a Kindle book in this collection. The first is to create a filter that excludes all books that can't be read on a Kindle. Up here you see Kindle books, click on that, and now you'll only see books that can be read on your Kindle. You can see the filter over on the left-hand side here. You can then further narrow your search by selecting other filters or search parameters, such as availability, language, and genre. Let's try that. Let's say I'm only interested in books that I can check out right now. I would click on Available Now. And now I'll only see books that I can read on my Kindle and which are available to borrow right now. Let's say I only want nonfiction books. Then I just go down, click on Nonfiction, and now I only see books that can be read on a Kindle, are available right now, and are nonfiction. And then maybe I choose history, and now I only see nonfiction books that I can read on my Kindle, are available now, and are in the history category. So that's one way to find an ebook to read on your Kindle, and it's a good approach if you don't have a specific title or author in mind, but instead just want to browse. You can clear individual filters by just clicking on the X's here, or you can clear them all by just clicking on Clear All over here. The second way to find an ebook is to put an author name or title up in the search bar here. So I'm interested in reading Nathaniel Hawthorne. I type in Nathaniel Hawthorne, there he is, and press search. And here I see works, if I scroll down, by Nathaniel Hawthorne. Now, I'd like to read Tanglewood Tales. So you see up at the top here it says available. If it says waitlist, then you have to put a hold on it, and when a copy is returned, you will be notified and be able to borrow it then. So now I click on the cover. Then, just to be safe, I scroll down to where it says Formats. I click on Formats, and you see Kindle Book is there. If Kindle Book isn't in this list under Formats, then this book cannot be read on a Kindle. So just to show you an example of an ebook that can't be read on a Kindle, if I go back and I click on Twice Told Tales, and here I go down and I click on Formats, we have Overdrive Read, EPUB, eBook, Open EPUB Book. There is no Kindle book listed. That means this is not a book that I can read on the Kindle. Going back to the book we want to borrow, Tanglewood Tales, I click on Borrow, and then get a choice of whether to borrow it for 7, 14, or 21 days. I select 14 and then click on Borrow. I now see this small window with three options: Read Now with Kindle, Read Now in Browser, and Download. If I select Read Now in Browser, then the book opens up in front of me in my web browser and I can begin reading. If I select Download, then the book will be downloaded, probably as an EPUB file, and I can read it using any application that can open EPUB files. But I want to read it on my Kindle, so I'm going to select Read Now with Kindle. This will take me to a sign-in page where you put in your Amazon credentials and press Sign In. Signing in will then take me to the page for the book that I've just borrowed. Over on the right side, there's a yellow Get Library Book and a gray Deliver To. I must first click on the gray Deliver To button, which will reveal a menu of all the devices connected to this Amazon account. Now, I only have two here, but most people will have, an Android and an iPhone and a tablet and this and that. So you must select the Kindle on which you want to read this book. If your Kindle is not listed here, then you need to register your Kindle to this Amazon account. Once I've selected my Kindle, then I click on the yellow Get Library Book, and Tanglewood Tales will now be on my Kindle. If my iPhone or Android phone or iPad or whatnot was in that list and I had selected one of those, then the book would have shown up instead in the Kindle app on my phone or tablet. But in this tutorial, we're focusing exclusively on getting ebooks into your Kindle. So that's how to borrow a book from the Digital Library of Illinois and get it onto your Kindle using a web browser. Before I go on to show you how to get a book to your Kindle using the Libby app, there are three important things you must know. First, the Kindle on which you want to read the ebook must be registered to the Amazon account into which you sign in after pressing Read Now on Kindle in the Digital Library of Illinois checkout process. When the book doesn't appear on a patron's Kindle, the most common problem is that the patron didn't register their Kindle to their Amazon account, or they registered their Kindle to a different Amazon account. You can see which devices are registered to your Amazon account by going to the Amazon page, clicking on Accounts and Lists, and then clicking on Your Content and Devices. Once you're in here, you click on Devices right here, and now you're going to see all the devices that you have registered to your Amazon account. Make sure that the Kindle on which you want to read the ebook that you're borrowing is listed here. The second thing you need to know is that if you are specifically looking for books for your Kindle, you should really use the Digital Library of Illinois website or the Libby app instead of the Evanston Public Library's website. This is because whether or not a book can be read on a Kindle is a bit more difficult to see in our catalog, and in fact you have to go into Librarian's View mode and read through a bunch of small text. The third thing to note is that there are many different types and generations of Kindles. In this tutorial I haven't addressed how to open the book in your Kindle because of this variation. Let's turn now to the Libby app. Now if you can read an ebook on the Libby app, why would you ever want to send a book from Libby to your Kindle? Well, because some people might prefer reading on their Kindle, particularly if the alternative is reading on a small phone screen. Here I'm not going to give a comprehensive overview of how to use Libby, since we have a different tutorial for that. I'm only going to focus on getting a book to your Kindle. But first, a very quick review. There are basically four main navigation areas. Down on the lower left, we have Library, which is simply the Digital Library of Illinois collection, where you'll search for books that you want to read on your Kindle, though of course these books can also be read using the Libby app, in a web browser, or in an application that opens EPUB files. On the lower right, we have Shelf, and this is just your personal shelf, your loans, holds, tags, a record of what you've borrowed in the past. Pressing the circle centered at the bottom opens whatever it is that you're currently reading or listening to. And then in the upper right-hand corner, there's the little circle that is supposed to be a human head, and there you'll find a list of library cards that you've registered with Libby, which should be just one for most of us, and there are a few other settings there as well. Click on that. You just get this kind of list, and then you can hide that. So those are the four main navigation areas. Now, let's go back to the library to search for a book to read on our Kindle. But first, how do you know if a book you find here can be read on a Kindle? Well, there are two ways, and they're similar to the two ways that you'd use if you were in the web browser. First, you go to Preferences right here, and down next to Compatibility, where right now it says Libby, you click that and you press Kindle, and then apply Preferences. Now you can search and everything you find will be Kindle compatible. The second way is to look at the entry for any given book. So here we're going to look at the entry for Tanglewood Tales. Let's go up to the search bar and we'll click on Nathaniel Hawthorne, and then we're going to scroll down until we get to Tanglewood Tales. Where is it? All right, there we have it. We click on the cover to get into the entry, to get the details, and then if we scroll down, there'll be a little section that says Supports, and these are the platforms on which you can read this book, and Kindle is listed there, which means it's a book that we can read on our Kindle. So then we go back up and we click on Borrow, and we go down, click on Borrow, and now there's Open Book, Keep Browsing, or Go to Shelf. We go to Shelf, go to Loans, and we see that we've got Tanglewood Tales there. And here you want to press on Manage Loan. And if you press on Manage Loan, you get this little window. Click on Read With, and then you see right now Libby is selected, which is this app. We're in the Libby app. So instead, tap on Kindle Apps and Devices. That will then take you to an Amazon sign-in page. Sign in, and then you'll see the same options that we saw before, doing this through a web browser. Tap the gray Deliver To option and make sure the Kindle on which you'd like to read this book is selected, and then click on Get Library Book. And voila, the book will be on your Kindle. You can now tap on Done in the upper left-hand corner up here, and then that will take you back into the Libby app. Now, if you have any problems whatsoever, I encourage you to contact me at lukethompson@cityofevanston.org or call this number, 847-448-8635. If no one answers, please leave a message, and don't forget to leave a phone number where we can reach you. Thanks for watching.